Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, the Head, and welcome back to the Baseball Head, even though I'm throwing like a football. That's the Baseball Head 2. It's now the home of all Giants content. It's not going to be a lot of content on here. Maybe a video a week and some shorts during the week. Not a lot. No, I don't want to overwhelm all my baseball fans on here. But I will have probably a video for Wednesday because the Giants are going to be making this huge announcement, which you all know about. That's the Giants have hired John Harbaugh to be their head coach, and couldn't have happened. It's perfect timing in life, and that's what we have here. I mean, 2 weeks ago he was fired by the Ravens, and then a week later, or 2 weeks later, he's now with the Giants. This is from Giants Wire, and we're going to go do a couple of things. What's going to happen now, and the reaction. The reaction's been spectacular, really. But here we go. From Giants Wire, New York Giants ownership welcomes John Harbaugh, quote, proven winner. New York Giants officially hired John Harbaugh as head coach on Saturday, marking a significant shift for the franchise. Co-owners John Mara and Steve Tisch, along with General Manager Joe Schoen, issued statements expressing strong confidence in Harbaugh's ability to lead the organization back to sustained success. Quote, we are proud to make and name John Harbaugh as the next head coach of the New York Giants. Joe Schoen presented us an outstanding group of candidates, which allowed us to be deliberate and confident in this decision. Through numerous conversations, John consistently stood out for his conviction and vision for leading a winning organization, and we welcome him and his family to the Giants. Tisch echoed those sentiments. Quote, John is a proven winner whose teams are disciplined, resilient, and prepared, said Tisch. His passion for the game, his ability to connect with players, and his experience leading at the highest level made him an outstanding fit for us, and we're excited to move forward together. Despite a shifting power dynamic, Harbaugh will report to Mara. Shane also expressed optimism of Harbaugh now in the fold. Quote, throughout our conversations, John stood out for his clarity, competitiveness, and approach for building a sustainable winning program. He has a strong track record of developing players, building cohesive staffs, and setting a clear standard of accountability. We are excited to work with John in moving this team in the right direction, Shane said. Statements reflect unified optimism about Harbaugh's leadership as the Giants begin a new chapter. Now, the thing is, one of the things that was sort of been talked about and what was holding up the deal a little bit was where and who Harbaugh wanted to talk to. He wanted to talk directly to ownership because that's what he had in Baltimore. But the Giants have never done that. So they were kind of trying to hammer things out so it wasn't like stepping on anybody's shoes and have it all clear and all their cards on the table just so that there was a new sort of way of going about communication. And that's what they've been that's what they were hammering out the last few days because people were getting extremely antsy. We're getting very, very uptight about, what was going on behind the scenes, that this deal wasn't going to happen. It was going to happen. Believe me. The Giants need this guy to help them turn this situation around because the Giants have been bad for a long time, as you know. Since I've been doing videos on the Giants, they've never been good. I think the first year I started doing videos on them. Way, way back when I had this old football head channel. It didn't go anywhere. But here's some more. New York Giants John Harbaugh will meet with current staff members this week, so we're going to find out very quickly. New York Giants are expected to hold an introductory press conference to officially name John Harbaugh as their next head coach on Tuesday. With the Harbaugh era beginning, significant changes to the coaching staff are anticipated. He is scheduled to meet with current members of the Giants coaching staff this week as he begins shaping his new group. Harbaugh is likely to bring in several familiar faces, having already shown interest in hiring Todd Monken as offensive coordinator and George Winthrop as offensive line coach. As Harbaugh assembles his staff, fans are closely watching whether the team will retain offensive line coach Carmen Brickolo. Brickolo joined the Giants from the Las Vegas Raiders before the 2024 season, has overseen marked improvement along the offensive line. Now that was the biggest thing that happened this past year, was how good the offensive line played. That was a huge step in the right direction because this this was a problem for over 10 years. Several general managers, several coaches couldn't get it right. But they got that finally right this year. Reports indicated the Giants will provide Harbaugh with the necessary resources to build his coaching staff according to his vision, which is expected to include additional coaches he has worked with previously. As he evaluates the current staff members under contract, Harbaugh will assess their fit alongside the new assistants he intends to add. It remains to be seen which, if any, of the existing coaches he will keep. And of course, there are going to be candidates for the defensive coordinator job. We got 8 candidates here for you. New York Giants have a new head coach, John Harbaugh, and by virtue, a new coaching staff is expected to follow. One of the major focus will be on defense, where the Giants failed miserably on the coordinator Shane Bowen last season, blowing too many late-game leads to count. They'll surely be seeking a new voice with a more aggressive approach going forward. I mean, they were terrible. They even gave up 20 points in the fourth quarter in some of these collapses. Here are some names the Giants could be considering for defensive coordinator. First up, Charlie Bullen. Charlie Bullen took over the Giants' defense in late November after Bowen was fired. He immediately made an impression, won over the players, and production took a 180 turn upward. He recently interviewed for the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator job and is said to have a lot of support in the Giants building right now. Joe Cullen. Currently the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line coach, Cullen recently interviewed with the Washington Commanders for their DC opening. He served as the Ravens defensive line coach from 2016 to 2020 under Harbaugh and would be a good fit to get the Giants' defensive front back on track. Next up, Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale won't likely be the guy, but there are probably a few players who would love to see him come back. His issue was not so much with the Giants as it was with Brian Daboll. So he might be open to a reunion with Harbaugh, whom he coached under for nearly a decade in Baltimore. Of course, he was fired there too. These guys get fired to get hired. Denard Wilson. Denard Wilson was considered for the Giants job a few years ago, but lost out to Bowen. He's another Harbaugh disciple, having coached under him in 2023. Wilson has been the defensive coach for the Tennessee Titans for the past few seasons, and is also making the rounds in this year's wide open and chaotic coaching carousel. There are 10 head coaching openings this offseason. And of course, on Monday, the Buffalo Bills fired their coach, which was really interesting because it's probably more of Josh Allen's fault that he got fired. Zach Orr. Only 33, Zach Orr, former linebacker with the Ravens turned coach, was Harbaugh's defensive coordinator the past 2 seasons in Baltimore. He may not have the long resume the other candidates have, but his age could play to his advantage. He might be welcomed by the players. Antonio Pierce. Many feel Antonio Pierce has a legitimate shot at the job, but right now he's being considered for head coaching gigs and even interviewed with the Giants. With 7 jobs still open, he's going full throttle. If Pierce doesn't, and we've got 8. If Pierce doesn't land a head coaching position, he'll likely get a high-level assistant job with some team. Anthony Weaver. Anthony Weaver, like Pierce, is making the head coaching rounds. He's another Harbaugh acolyte, having both played and coached under him in Baltimore. Weaver spent the past 2 seasons as defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins and likely won't be unemployed for very long. He is a riser. And finally on this list is Jim Leonhard. The former safety has been serving as the Denver Broncos assistant head coach and defensive passing game coordinator under Sean Payton. He played 1 season for Harbaugh back in 2008. This would be a demotion for Leonhard should he take it. Jim Leonhard will likely remain in Denver, but time will tell. Now the Broncos are still playing. So because the Broncos are still playing right now, and in the AFC championship game, they're not going to interview him. He's probably the least likely. The least likely of the coordinators, potential coordinators that could be hired, because they're not going to wait too long. I mean, Harbaugh wants to get the ground running. He wants to get all those people in line, get everybody ready to go very quickly. Probably this week or next week. They don't want to wait too long on that. That's for sure. But this is very exciting. For me, as a Giants fan, we've seen the Giants be so bad, and now we're going to have fun talking about what the Giants need to do. We'll have a lot of stuff on this channel. I'm not going to have constant videos here Like I said, I'll probably have videos once a week. Probably Monday. I was thinking about this earlier. I'll probably have a video for you every Monday. Now this week they're gonna introduce Harbaugh on Tuesday. Maybe there'll be another video either on Wednesday or Thursday if I have the time. And we'll have a lot of stuff on the draft, I think. And I'll cover the draft. We'll cover all the players that the Giants will draft this year. Obviously, they have a big pick this year, number 5 pick. It'll be interesting to see what kind of player they draft, because they don't need a quarterback. They don't need a wide receiver that's a number 1 guy. So I have to go and see what they need, what'll be available at number 5, and that's what we're going to do here. But it's going to be a lot of fun on this version of the Baseball Hut 3. Baseball Hut 2, which is, it's disappointing that I could never get the Football Hut monetized and really grow that. But it was just too difficult, And I've had a lot of opportunities to make it grow. It just never took off, other than about 2 years ago when I was goofing on WFN and Carl Banks. But aside from that, we hope to do more. I hope to do more stuff on here on the Giants, on the Baseball Hut 2. And I need you to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later.